Well, hello there, and welcome to the Douches Vegan, how to live a delicious life without being a dick. Your host is Michael Stewart Webb, who is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of vegans.
Salut.
And I'm Carla Collins, plant basic bitch. It's my new hook.
Yeah, we're gonna get some T-shirts printed up, some
I
merch.
I mean, I'm just always marketing everything. Plant basic bitch, yo. I'm a fairly new vegan, but
It's been a while.
it's been a bit now. It's been a bit.
Yeah, it's coming
9
up.
months, I believe.
Yes.
I could have had a little vegan baby
Oh,
by
you
now.
could have. You could have.
Oh dear, yes.
Oh,
I'll let you
gosh.
know when it's my vegan anniversary, September, because I'll be hitting you up for a gift, of course, darling.
Giant rock.
Yes, and
Pet
by
rock.
giant rock, I mean Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I would take him in a heartbeat. He's
Yes,
delicious.
he is the perfect human specimen.
And by all accounts, he's a super nice guy too.
So funny, so nice. Yeah, everybody loves him. He was going to run for president, and
Oh, he should.
I know.
I would
know.
vote for him.
Yeah, he's pretty extraordinary.
That he is.
Great story, great. And my brother used to be totally into wrestling, which is where he started, right? The WWF, now
Yep.
WWE, whatever they're calling themselves. And he was a villain, but he was beloved.
Well, I mean, and maybe Rick will attest to this. It's kind of all acting in that whole wrestling
Well, of
world, right? I mean,
course.
I remember Hulk Hogan back in the day, right? What a spectacle
That
he
was like the golden era of wrestling, right?
wrestling.
Like there was The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan. I did a whole thing for CTV when I was working on E! Now, Michael, where I interviewed the Hart
the Hart Brothers.
brothers. Look at you. Oh, I'm so impressed.
I know.
Oh my God, this guy is a Renaissance man.
I'm not really gay. No, that's not true.
I
am.
know. And oh my gosh, and I'm blanking on his name, Sean something. He was the pretty boy, and we did a whole thing where I pretended to win, and then at the end he picked me up, and I'm like, I don't think anyone thought for a second, but I remember Bret Hart saying, "Oh yeah, it's all real," but he was like
Lies.
winking. He was winking.
All
At, he's
lies.
just a delightful man.
Didn't one of the Hart Brothers pass
Yes,
away?
he did tragically.
Tragically,
yeah.
right? It was an accident or
It
something?
was a fall, yep. And honestly, Bret Hart's another, like, one of the most beautiful human beings ever. Funny.
Oh, wonderful.
Again, anytime somebody plays along and has a sense of humor about themselves in the situation, because that's how we make it through this whirling ball in the atmosphere.
In the
It really
cosmos,
is.
yes,
right?
that's true. Yeah, so anyone who has a sense of humor and can laugh at themselves can stay. Everyone else can go away.
I'm just always so uncomfortable when someone doesn't. I don't know what to do.
And we know some people like that. I mean,
do.
even in our own personal lives who just have zero sense of humor.
They're not close friends, as you can imagine. I just start to panic. I become like a bad child star in a pageant.
Oh, my
like,
God.
what if I do some talent for you? And I overcompensate, and I just
know.
I'm like a Gatling
Jazz
gun of joke.
hands.
Oh, it's just so sad.
Just trying to get
Exactly.
a rise out of people.
I'm a clever mime.
Oh,
No,
my God.
make her stop. So. That's how we've gotten through the Jean-Claude Van Damme.
my
That's
God.
you need
No
it.
lie
You just
there.
need it. And because I'm always looking into stuff, especially for this show now, of the greatest, the latest, the best thing for your health, the best diets, the best exercises. And they say, when they interview people in the blue zone, and the blue zone are places where people are living way above the average life expectancy.
Oh, for a second there, I thought you were talking about like the Blue Rent specials.
Well, in
the
some ways, maybe that's where it gets its name, because people are blue rent specials. Like they're living 100 years old
Plus
and more,
years,
right?
yeah.
Because they're saying people now that we have the ability to go to 150. They're saying in ancient times people lived to 500 or 600. I've
Really?
never read those texts, and I want to know what was going on. I imagine it was Wonder Woman's island. That's my whole.
island
When I
of
think of
Amazonian
history,
women.
I just think of the Amazon islands, where I would like you to buy me a condo. You're a realtor. You're a realtor
my
mogul.
gosh.
But so when they ask people, there was one guy who just said he lived on pickled herring and bourbon.
Ugh.
Because and it was, of course, the one thing was having a sense of humor.
Oh,
right?
naturally,
Laughing.
yes.
And another thing, which will sound trite, but loving yourself. Because I don't know what your belief system is, but, I believe in reincarnation. I think because we've got this soul, right? And then these are tuxedos we're renting. Mine's, of course, designer. That's one of my affirmations. No.
I want mine to be designer next time.
So our bodies are just our shells, right? So they say you really should love yourself because it doesn't end, apparently, after, I know this is we're right into a money shot. If this was a porn, the plumber's already come to the house and he's already banging her. But so you never leave your consciousness, right? Like you're stuck with yourself. So it's a really good idea to try and fall in love with yourself, because it's not like, when your time's up on this earth, you're still
right
with
back again, just in a
soul.
different tuxedo.
Yep, that's why I've gotten a soul lift. I'm going with the right plastic surgery now, just a soul tuck.
Do you think I might be able to get a Ricky Martin tuxedo next time round?
You love yourself some Ricky Martin.
I do.
Honey, you're so handsome.
Oh,
what's wrong with you? You're beautiful.
Oh, stop your noise.
No, I'm not going to stop. No, I don't. But yeah, so who knows? You might come back as a giraffe. I don't know.
Well, maybe that would be okay.
As one of Adam Levine's tattoos. That's my.
I'd be okay coming back as a giraffe as long as I wasn't being hunted down by Donald Trump and his posse.
Donald Trump's grandsons. As I say, be a trophy wife, not a trophy hunter.
Exactly.
So we have great stuff for you this week. Let's start with the hooch. We're going to talk vegan booze.
We are going to talk vegan booze. So, first of all, let me apologize to anyone who's watching, because there's this GD Amityville horror fly that keeps flying in front of our camera lens again.
As you know, it's my only complaint about the country.
Yeah, there's some bugs.
Oh,
there's some bugs, but
yeah.
I'll work on evacuating
exactly
the flies for next time. So I apologize to anybody.
I've tried telling them bad dad jokes, but they're still around.
I know. Clearly they're not bad enough. Or maybe that's what's keeping them around, because they do like shit, right?
I know. No, I'm in trouble. Most of my act is shit.
Oh my God. No, it's not. Are you kidding me?
Kidding.
It is so. It's clearly evidenced by the Amazeballs reviews you're getting for your album. Your act is not shit. Quite the contrary.
I do want to give a shout out to Parton and Pearl. This is wild. So Keisha Brownie turned me on to them and said, hey, they review comedy albums and country albums. And I dig that hybrid.
An interesting dichotomy.
I tried to put more of a twang on my stuff. No, I didn't know this before the album was recorded. And I'm just excited because the review came out yesterday. It was
glowing.
Awesome. Yeah.
It was glowing. Well, I mean, thank God they've got some taste, because it's a phenomenal album.
Well, because you never know. Look, it's highly subjective.
Of course it is.
But I also, she highlighted a track that I thought was a smart one, right? It was full of puns and a joke about death. And I have this act where I think that, okay, I'll give you a little sneak preview, but I always say that, listen, we have to abolish racism and anti-LGBTQ, slurs and putting women down and fat shaming. But we're humans and we're trash. So we need some outlet, right? We need to be able to trash talk.
Yes.
So my joke was that I think we should be able to just go after people's astrological signs.
I love it.
And just say like, what an Aries head. You're very fragile snowflake, more like a clitoris. That's my sign. You Libratard.
God.
That's probably controversial, but so anyway, she highlighted that. So thank you. I think her name was Melanie Darling.
Oh, what a great last name.
I know. Which is my new darling name.
She can stay. So, Melanie Darling, you can stay, darling.
So thank you. It's always, I know you're not supposed to care about them, but I obviously do.
Oh my God. Anyone who says
very happy about that.
Honestly, sweetie, anyone who says they don't give a damn about reviews are liars.
Liars.
They are. Calling you on your BS.
Yeah, I know. It's tough because you don't want to, you have to just be secure in your own stuff. But so Pandepic, so give it a listen. Because I sound like Seinfeld. Give it a listen. I mean, people who review country and comedy like it. So that's something. Yeah, so it's had all good reviews so far.
Yeah, there hasn't been an iffy review amongst the bunch because it's a great album. It's smart.
Yes, go on. Wait, why did I?
Sorry, brace yourself.
Yes.
It's smart. It's current. Your delivery is always phenomenal. It's an amazing album, and
thank you.
And everyone should go get it now.
Yes, get it
after you listen to this.
Download it or run. buy, download it. I don't know, bootleg. So you know what? What wine pairs well with Pandepic? Vegan wine.
Vegan wine. Well, so I was at the LCBO, which for those of you who
because it was 5 o'clock every day.
Exactly. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere. And so for those of you who are listening outside of Ontario, the LCBO is our liquor control board. Unlike most places on the rest of the planet, you cannot buy booze at your grocery store. Well, you can now buy booze at the grocery store, but you never could before. So,
well, in the U.S., you can basically get it at a gas station.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Children's
at the daycare.
By the way, we become one person. Enjoy that. We're melding together.
Oh my gosh.
Oh dear.
Oh jeez. So I picked up a couple of bottles of vegan red. Sadly, we disposed of one bottle.
By the way, it was me.
Before.
Whoops.
Yeah, I had intent. It doesn't matter. So I'll just have to buy some more vegan wine. So this is by Domain. It's Argentinian. Vegan. So let's first explain what that means, because some people will be like, wine. Of course, it doesn't come from an animal.
Yeah, I have no idea what vegan wine means either.
Well, so through the process of clarification, many of these vineyards are using animal products to clarify the wine. So once upon a time,
What?
Yeah, I know. So once upon a time, wine was allowed to settle, and you would get sediment in the bottle. But through the process of mass production, wine goes through a process of clarification now, and so they're using in some vineyards, and most vineyards, if I'm brutally honest, things like egg whites or gelatin or something like that to clarify the wine, to sort of the solids that are suspended in the wine bond to these proteins, and then they are scooped out, and that's what they're using to basically filter and clarify the wine. So,
Gotcha.
So there are some vineyards, however, who are producing vegan wines, which mean that they're not using animal products to clarify the product. And so this one is Argentinian. It's a Malbec, and I'm quite partial to Malbec.
You like a good Malbec.
I do. So Malbecs and Shiraz are kind of my favorite grapes. But and so it's 100% organic. It's vegan. They're not using animal products to clarify. You're not a big red drinker.
Well, I love red. It doesn't like me. I can't have the goblins or tannins or whatever.
Yeah, the tannins.
I mean, maybe I should try with vegan wine. You did make delicious sangria.
I did, and I used red wine for that. So.
And I was fine with that, so maybe I'll give it a whirl again.
Well, maybe with them being organic.
Yeah, organic and vegan, maybe that'll make a big difference.
It might make a big difference. So actually, honestly, that's a good test.
Like, I will take a hit of red wine, like one sip, fiance,
and then you'll feel it.
Headache immediately.
Oh, you're kidding.
That happened the other night with some horrible wine that was carbonated, which was unusual.
It was a gift, so let's not talk about it.
Oh, sorry. But thank you. They're super, super thoughtful. They stopped selling it years ago. But I'll get a headache right away. So I'm not a big wine drinker, as you know. I don't ever drink wine.
No.
I'm more of a bubbles gal.
Yes.
When it comes to that and various other things.
The harder stuff.
So maybe
this
will make maybe that'll make a difference. I'll try some tonight.
So yeah, give some vegan wine a try, and then you'll know, and that might be a good test, right? So for other people who enjoy the flavor of reds, but like you, have a reaction to tannins and things, Yeah,
because you're going
to be our guinea pig.
Love red wine, and they.
Well, they're more satisfying, I find, anyway, right? They're meatier. They've got a really nice...
They're more manly.
Well, they are.
I'm not kidding. You don't have a lot of guys drinking. Can I have a white wine?
No.
Right, because that's why I always made fun of the Drake song where Nana, where he's like, good weed, white wine, I come alive in the night time. And I'm like, Drake, what
are you talking about?
What are you, a Southern
Is this a
belle?
confession?
White wine. Can I get you a spritzer, darling? No, have Cristal like the other rappers. Anyway.
It's a confession. Yeah, so most men, unless you're wearing penny loafers, typically don't consume white wine. So you're right. It is a more masculine beverage.
More yang to it.
And I just like the flavor of red wine. I like the way it feels on my palate. White wine is, I'll have it if there's nothing else going. But so this was Domain, Argentinian. It's lovely, and it's a beautiful dry wine. A Malbec. This particular wine was 2019. And And then we picked up some white wines.
We did some
So, did I by
whistle
chance
wine.
show this bottle? So anyone who's looking, this is the red.
Your price is right.
My Vanna White.
There you go.
And then I picked up a couple of bottles of white. So this one is Novus. It's again organic wine. This is a Sauvignon Blanc. This is Chilean, 2018.
That was my favorite.
What's your favorite? So we'll have to save this bottle. I'm going to write in magic marker, fiance's favorite.
Yes,
why did I
had the entire
do it like
bottle.
that?
Had the entire bottle.
You did. It went down very easily, you said.
Yep.
So, and I did have a little taste out of each of the bottles, and they were really quite nice.
I gotta say that. What's the name of that, sweetie?
So this is Novus, Gran Reserva. It's Chilean. Again, it is, well, this is a Sauvignon Blanc, so that's the grapes. Organic, certified vegan. And they're really inexpensive too. So, they're comparative to other bottles of wine that you might get, like, $14, $15 a bottle. So it's not horrible.
Yes, because often, people, there's always that perception that vegan or organic is going to be more expensive.
Costly, and it's not. It's the same. So, so this is Novus.
So let me just tell you, flaccid yet lucid. That wine was smoother than jazz. I loved it. Had the entire bottle, which I never do. I believe your comment the next day was, well, for once you had more to drink than I did. But here's a great bonus. I was not hungover on vegan wine.
Yeah, and I thought that was really interesting too.
I'm sensitive like a nipple. Mm-hmm. I will feel it the next day. If I have had more than 2 glasses anytime, I cannot drink for a week. You've seen that.
I have seen that.
I'm very much a lightweight, despite being from Sault Ste. Marie and a French Canadian family, which is why I strongly suspect I was adopted. But this Novas was the tits and ass.
It was delicious.
Because it was fantastic.
Okay.
Smooth.
Well, I quite enjoyed it too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just had a
like
sip
butter,
of them.
like vegan butter.
Like butter.
Oh, it really was. It was really nice.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So we'll have to stock up and get some more of those. And then finally, much to my surprise, because I'm not a lover of Ontario wines.
I know.
As you know.
You're a snob.
A little bit. So this this Southbrook Connect Organic 2018. I have no idea what kind of grape variety these. Oh, it's a Riesling and Chardonnay. So 46% Riesling, 38 Vidal, 16% Chardonnay. So it's a blend, obviously.
It's a blend, yeah.
Ontario white wine. It's by Southbrook, VQA. Again, really inexpensive. It's not like we're buying a bottle of J-Lore. Really, really. And
that was nice too. Lovely summer wine.
Yeah, I think if memory serves me correctly, you found this one a little bit lighter, and had some fruity notes.
Fruity after notes. It was a little bit like mahogany. I always want to say it tasted like existentialism. I always want to say really.
I have no idea
ridiculous.
What you're talking
exactly. Well, because no one knows what any of these wine connoisseurs
are really talking about.
Saying. It's just like, it's a bit like, if you were bound by leather and you're also contemplating Camus. What?
What are you even talking
what does
about?
it taste like? I never understood, so I'm always making fun of it. But no, nice and light. And again, those were smooth. And I'm not a huge wine connoisseur nor drinker, but I really enjoyed both. And I will tell you, and this is honest to God, again, not being paid for anything, I prefer the vegan white wines to regular white wines.
To regular white wines.
So I would have, especially the Novus, I'd have another bottle of that. Maybe perhaps not in one sitting like I did last time.
Oh my gosh.
Not sure why, but yeah, it was just great. We were outside eating and
it was a fantastic.
Yeah,
it was such a great day. We were having another one of our good natters. We had just we were having a phenomenal meal. The weather was terrific.
I know. When we get into one of those kikis, it was just like, oh, that bottle's gone.
How did that happen?
And it's just me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so those are great. So this is like a treat show because we're just giving you the good stuff. We tried those, And because I think we have a new convert, and again, not like we're trying.
Yes.
A pal of yours.
Yeah. So, Corbin Rubinski, who's a client in the real estate biz, super, super. I dig him so much,
Yes.
and his wife
He always
Teresa.
speaks very highly of you, Corbin.
I do dig Corbin and Teresa so much. So I had this last time I was out with them. We struck up this conversation about veganism and vegetarianism, and forgive me, Corbin, I don't remember exactly how the conversation started, but I think we were talking about higher consciousness, and Corbin is sort of working on embracing more of kind of like a Buddhist style, philosophy of life, and respecting the sanctity of life, and so on. And so this conversation, and he's such an interesting guy, he's so well read. This conversation kind of parlayed into a vegetarian / vegan lifestyle, and so I'd mentioned to him that we were doing these programs, and that we were writing the book, and that maybe he might want to check it out, and get some life hacks, and get some information as to what some alternatives are.
Drop some knowledge bombs.
Yeah, and so he's been listening to the show. He's now subscribing to the show.
He binge watched us.
He did binge watch or binge listen.
What a treat! You binge listen. What a treat that is.
And so later on in this show, Corbin had mentioned that, the two things that are going to be most difficult for him to give out. And just backtrack for 1 second. So he and his daughter were having this conversation about alternate, food and lifestyle and all this kind of stuff. And his children are quite young, but if they're anything like Teresa and Corbin, they're really very well adjusted and aware. Aware of their environment, aware of the world that we share with other sentient beings, and self-aware. So Corbin, in one of his notes, was saying that he and his daughter were having a conversation, and that they're both going to pursue this. They were jumping in, and they even changed their orders with HelloFresh to vegan or vegetarian menu options with their food deliveries. So
hello, even more fresh.
Exactly. So one comment that Corbin had shared with me in some of the exchanges that we had, and some of the comments he was making on our posts were that cheese and ice cream are two of his favorite food items, and they were going to be difficult to give up. So,
I think a lot of people.
For sure.
That I know we say it every week. Cheese is always the last to go.
Well, yeah, it is, and it doesn't. But we've already established that while they're not identical to cheese, there's some really great options out there. It's just really kind of embracing them, and so we in last week's show talked about the fromagerie in Meaford and some of their phenomenal products, but. There's a fly shitting on my face right now on the screen.
Wow, usually you have to pay double for that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dear, that was graphic.
Oh my God,
I'm distracted. Embracing more of a Buddhist philosophy. There is a fly taking a giant deuce on my face right now.
I keep getting distracted with this fly who's crawling over the camera lens. But anyway, so I had mentioned to Corbin that we were going to be talking in this week's show about some vegan ice creams. And so here you are, Corbin. This is just for you.
Yes, we're now taking requests on the Doucheless Vegan. We're doing shout outs, requests. You want to propose to your lady through the show?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well, yeah, that's right. We'll do it all. We don't. Pretty shameless too. So
we are completely
$5 and anything.
Not even.
So we tried cookies and cream.
Yeah. So Breyers, to their credit, they developed vegan ice cream. So it's coconut and almond based. It's really the caloric content is better than it would be if it was a dairy ice cream. So I think it was 110 calories or 150 calories per 125 milliliters of ice cream. So I'd had it before. You had not had the pleasure of sampling it before. So we We had some Breyers cookie and ice cream. It's like Oreo cookies. So Oreo cookies are vegan too, by the by. And of course, let me just underline everything in moderation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like this is super healthy. You should start your day with it.
Yeah, no, you should not.
And again, I know weird, and I feel like I lose my girl card every time I see this. I'm not a big ice cream fan, which is wackadoo. I get it, but
not really.
This was pretty yummy. It was great.
Yeah,
if you have
yummy.
a sweet tooth or you want a little something after the barbecue, or especially during these months. I thought it was delicious. I would much rather try the peanut butter flavor.
Yes, there is a peanut butter flavor, so I will pick that up next time at the grocery store. So Corbin, Breyers ice cream, vegan ice cream. It's in your dairy case at most large chains. Give it a whirl. I think you're gonna like it.
Yeah, I think it's. I didn't think that there was a giant difference, to be honest.
No, I mean, and there's all kinds of other stuff out there. Like Rice Dream had this rice ice cream for the longest time. But out of all of them that I have tried, I have to say that I kind of prefer the Breyers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, also, I feel like this is a good moment to inject with this little nugget. When you're trying to make a big lifestyle change, and again, I'm going to just super generalize here because some people like, me, I'm an all-in person, right? I'm like, as he takes a sip of his wine, it's like, thank God that bitch is talking because gurgle. I tend to dive into the deep end pretty much.
Yep.
Although I think I still hung on to cheese for the first week or two. But when you're trying to make any lifestyle change, it gets overwhelming if you try to do it in a militant fashion.
Oh, yeah.
Say, okay, I'm going to eliminate everything from my diet and go full vegan. Again, we're not trying to tell you to do that. I think if you just implement small changes, I think your success rate is going to be greater, because a lot of times people try to go full on, they get overwhelmed, like, I can't do this, give up, and I mean this for any diet, not just vegan, and then in fact double down and end up eating way more crap, right? And then it's like that circle of shame.
Yeah.
I mean, let your circle of shame be for other things. So sometimes it's just great, like, I was listening to someone who, when they turned vegan, a friend of mine said, I took out the most egregious thing in my mind first, which was meat. Because as you always talk about, the factory farming. And then he just slowly, over the course of a year, and then all of a sudden he found he was feeling better and better. So he was then full vegan. So that's another tip too. Like, you can go right in. That works for some personalities. That's why we always say everybody's different.
Absolutely.
And where you just go radical, like people who quit smoking, they wake up one day and say, that's it.
Yep.
Where other people had like, I'm wearing 3 patches now just for fun. No, but other people, it's a tapering or a system. Like, we're all different, and our body and chemistry responds to things differently. But another great thing to keep in mind, and I can tell you this is true for me, and I hear it over and over again from people. And again, we're not just talking about vegan, but when you're moving into a healthier diet, guys, because you think you're going to miss all the crap, and this, especially sugar, which is death. And, one of the worst things you can do, your taste buds change. They will change after a month or two, and you will no longer have those cravings. That's the wonderful thing.
Yeah.
The more healthily you eat, you really do. You stop craving that. It's like if you keep feeding the machine the same stuff, then that's what you start to really want, right?
Yeah.
It's with sugar crashes and, like with caffeine. But honestly, so for me, I just found it an easy transition personally, because I wasn't craving, the meat and the cheese.
Right.
Well, for me, it was more like fish. And so you want to, so keep that in mind too, that it's like anything else, a little rough going, like when you first head back to the gym and you're just like, I can't move. There aren't enough Epsom salts in the world. I don't want to go back. But if you stick with it, after that 21-day mark, for some people, 30 for others. That's why so many books have those 2 time.
Right. Well, you
frames.
establish routines and acclimate your body. And
so that's
and all
one
of that
way to, I like that Duke is making the rounds.
I know,
of course.
he is.
He's such a show pony.
Yes.
Are you recording? Look at me. I'm so handsome.
He is handsome.
So that's a couple things to keep in
Yeah,
mind.
agreed.
That maybe just eliminate for a lot of women who have been asking me questions, I say eliminate dairy first, to be honest, because that seems to do the most damage to the hormones.
Right. Well,
so
we've talked about that too.
Yeah.
You know?
So maybe pick your poison first and then start from there so
just
that it's
baby
not
steps.
so overwhelming.
Totally. Just baby steps. And then, slowly decrease incrementally, your consumption of these products. And then, I think it becomes less of a shock.
Exactly.
And I think it becomes a little bit more subliminal too. The change is less dramatic and maybe a little bit more palatable then too. So, you and I are both, balls to the wall, cold turkey. Like there's
extreme people.
We are extremists.
I'm sorry, Duke's farting. That's why I'm making
is
really
he farting?
weird faces.
Oh,
It's. I got to be honest.
gosh.
I almost want to pee into my own shirt because it's like World War I mustard gas. I feel like that's the only way that Whew.
Oh
my
God,
goodness, that
dude.
was really
special.
pungent. Shit, dog.
Oh my God.
So yeah. So some people are that way where it's, jumping right in, it's a sink or swim stitch, and some, are better gradually.
Yeah, just
So again,
incremental change.
don't-
So whatever works for
enough
you.
problems in life,
And
need to
don't
get
beat yourself up either, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
you could, and slip. Oh my God, we're always
slips-
slipping and sliding.
Hello. Slips are okay as long as you stay the course, and
So just a couple of things, and another little maybe incentive is that they have the first studies out right now.
oh, well, let's talk about this. You had mentioned this.
Yes, that say that vegans have had an easier time, those who have caught COVID. And they're because I listen to a lot of plant-based podcasts, and they said like these are a pretty controlled group, and they're getting more and more. They didn't publish anything until recently because obviously you need to study it for a long
Of course,
time,
yeah.
etc. And that they weren't. Of course, obesity has a huge factor,
Yeah.
and so does diabetes, guys. So it's not a big leap to think that if you're having a vegan diet and you're keeping your cholesterol and your insulin down, etc., that we've seen that, and I'm sure you've already read that in the news many times with COVID, that being very overweight or being diabetic or those are underlying problems that they speak of, and apparently they're noticing now. It was, I think, a study of a couple thousand.
Oh, wow. So
And
it's
yeah,
fairly
so people
significant.
they have the control group and the non-vegans. So yeah, that the vegans had fewer severe symptoms.
Isn't that interesting?
So that's a nice surprise during the pandemic because
Absolutely.
so it's effective during the plague, which I'm sure none of us thought we'd have to be battling, but we continue to.
We do. 2 years, well, almost 2 years into it. But, I think, and we talked about this before too. I mean, I think I'm kind of, in a way, grateful for some of the experiences that we've lived through the course of the last 18 months. I think it's been a great equalizer.
Yeah.
It's taught us a lot about ourselves and tolerance and intolerance, because of course there's always the flip side to that as well.
And it's what you decide, right? If you decide, okay, I'm going to cook more at home and spend more time with my family, and I'm going to work out, there's different ways of, and I know that's easy, and I'm speaking, probably from a privileged position because I was not homeless, not because I found fiance. We had our Paris. But I mean, it really is. And now as we're coming out of it, nothing, it's my favorite Charlie Chaplin quote. That nothing in this life is permanent, not even our troubles.
Yeah.
So you always have
So
to
true.
keep that in mind as we begin to open up. Yay. And oh my God, Canadians on patios. Hilarious.
Oh my
Like tattoos
gosh,
on an
I
NBA
know.
star or R. Kelly on a babysitter. It is super cliche, dudes. They're just like, because
Well, we've been cooped up. So in Canada, as well, I mean, our patio season is microscopic to begin with. And we've been denied our patios now for a year. And, we finally have the opportunity to get out and enjoy them and socialize. And I was on a patio yesterday for a business meeting, and it was so freaking cold. I thought it was going to start snowing, but
I thought about you so hard because I took Dr. Zero for a walk, and I'm like, I honestly just bring a jacket so I can put my phone in and listen to stuff. I'm like, I better put this on, Z. And even Zero was like, yeah, bitch, it is. Because Zero and I talk a lot. We've spent a lot of time together in the last year. So, and all I could think about was you were near a lake.
Oh, I know.
I was hoping you had a jacket in the car.
I had forgotten a jacket.
I forgot the magic of Canada, where we've gone, not long ago, it snowed one weekend, and it was oppressively sauna-like hot the next weekend. So it's up and down like a horse pants on payday, as my mom would say. She's quite a philosopher, obviously. So, yeah, it's like, wait a while. It's crazy, and I feel bad, but we're about to come into about a week of rain.
I know.
So
well, I mean, that makes things
just
grow.
Enjoy. You just gotta, you gotta kind of roll with it.
It's true. I embrace the rain. It gives my horses something to eat. So,
Well, I always think for me, it's still, when there were thunder boomers the other day, it was like exotic for me because
you don't get that.
It doesn't rain in LA, and rarely. I think there's been 1 or 2 thunderstorms the entire time I've been there, which were very sexy, and it's cozy. I mean, I love the rain. I think I couldn't handle Seattle. Like even here when it was about a month, I'm like, okay, listen with the gray skies.
Yeah. Well, it gets depressing.
It doesn't bring out my eyes. Gray's not my color. So after a while, I'm like, listen.
It's true.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's always that little shift. And you and I were talking about this. We've been having some really in-depth discussions. We've been going deep lately. We say sometimes it's just a couple degrees, right? You just tweak your attitude about something just a little bit.
And what an enormous difference it makes.
Huge.
Really big picture. So attitude is everything. And we've talked before about everything in life being a choice.
Big thing too, and you and I approach this differently, but we have the same result. Is a big thing is letting things go, right? Like I always joke that women store all information and all past fights in their breasts. Like women will hang on to things. Even Donna Roberts, I know you're listening. One time I said, I'm telling you, back in the 90s, I said maybe don't wear red lipstick all the time. Oh. We have not, and this is my best friend. Every time she sees me, she's like, I'm wearing red lipstick. I don't remember saying it, is how, but, and I mean, that's of course a joke, and she's super involved, and that's, we now just tease
she's
each other.
razzing you about it.
That's just, we're having some fun. We're just taking the mickey out of each other. As you Brits would say, do you like that, darling? When I say
do.
British terms?
Oh my God.
Like snooge.
Yes, I think I need a moment to myself.
But that whole forgiveness thing or letting things go so that you don't keep replaying the same bad sitcom in your mind. And for you compartmentalize. So you're over things always within a 24 to 48 hour period when you're upset.
So true. It's so true.
I am too, but for different reasons. And that's ADD. I'll be like, I can't. Like lately, I've been pissed off with Messenger again. Which is funny because we just did a little demo tape of,
Yes.
of my Elmo performances. And that part's in there where I'm like,
Yes.
gentlemen, you're confusing Messenger with Tinder.
Yes.
But everybody's confusing Messenger with, like every time I go near it, it just goes horribly for me. For example, when we were out on the patio, I literally smiled at a guy. He recognized me and then thought I might want to bang. I'm
True
giving you
story.
the Reader's Digest version.
True story.
What in the name of what?
Yes.
Imagine if I had done my full flirt. And you know me, I flirt with like the farm. I flirt with Diego, your horse.
Well,
I'm a flirt.
Listen, flirtation is good.
So, I'm just saying sometimes Messenger are.
Yeah, it's not
so
Tinder.
I'll be, I can't believe and I'm a lady and you work for this and what are you? Why would he? And after 24 to 48 hours, I'm also over it because something else grabs my attention.
It's
so
true.
I'm really
You're like
lucky
a magpie
that way.
that way.
What's that?
You're like a magpie that way.
I am. Like a magpie with heels and fake tits. That is my spirit animal. and I'm very happy about that.
Well, you should be.
Who cares how you let something go or forgive?
As long as you let go.
Yeah,
you can't carry that
so-
shit around with you. It'll eat you up from the
And
inside
it's
out.
poisonous, right?
Oh,
It's just like,
completely.
you gotta just let that fiber go through you like that.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
just not worth
and
focusing your energy because you're waking up and you're doing the same.
Of course.
It's from, like most of our problems are from the past or
Yeah.
the future, right? We were
Yeah.
saying that the
Yeah.
other day. We only have this moment. So if you wake up and you're like, I can't believe that chick did that. That's from the past.
Yeah.
But your brain doesn't know. It's like, are we still okay? all right, yeah, we're angry.
Yeah.
I'll cortisol, stress, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll release that shit. So, like, you've got, I mean, I know easier said than done, but I'm telling you, sometimes I feel like, we were saying, grab a confidant or two.
Mm-hmm.
I won the lottery in that I had my mother. I have fiance now
Right back at
to
ya.
talk to. But sometimes a problem shared, Facebook, is a problem doubled. Like when people,
I can't
I see
stand
a couple
it.
people, I'm telling you, it's what wine goes with wine. Like it's on a loop, man. It's on that 680 loop. That's a local news station where they do the same stories every 15 minutes. Also, what most of us do when we're drunk, including me. Once again, here comes the same story coming at you, Michael.
Uh-huh.
Yep. It's every 15 minutes. Traffic and weather on the ones.
Oh,
I have a radio background, so that's fine. But yeah, so,
But I mean, that comes back to choice, right? I mean, it's a choice to just kind of evolve and let go of that stuff. And it's, I think subconsciously hanging on to that kind of stuff is, as you've pointed out, poison to us. Like we're still animals and we still have a fight
Especially
or flight
in bed.
response. Well, I don't know. It's been a while.
Oh, I know. As you know, we're like born again virgins.
I know, it's true. My cherry grew back.
Oh my God. Ew.
Too much information.
Also, where is that cherry?
Oh my God.
Is that a magic trick? What's happening?
It's sour cherry. It's in my glass.
Can you tie a knot with the stem?
I can actually.
Really?
Yes,
What
I'll show you.
can't you do? I so want to do.
I have a very talented mouth.
Hi. I just can't imagine doing that in a bar.
Oh gosh.
Of course, as you know, for about 48 hours, I'm like, I'm just never going to leave the house. First of all, it was the first time I had left the house. Literally. I'm on the farm all day long as your beard.
Oh, we're talking about Ashley Madison, as we've affectionately dubbed him.
Imagine if I had pulled out a cherry with the. Oh my God!
The street.
Imagine if I had said hello.
I know, shocking.
Is it right to a gangbang? A three-way?
Yes, I would have been filing a police report.
What? Holy cow! Then again, I was like, well, who knows? Maybe we've all just been cooped up and we've forgotten. I don't know how to be social. But yeah, so at any rate, so
it's all about choices, right?
And again, at choices, and again, making fun of it,
Yeah, you got to make light of
that,
it. You have to make light of it.
You know.
So, at the end of the day, we're still animals,
Right.
and we are pre-programmed instinctually for fight or flight.
Yes.
And, by hanging on to all of this stuff, I mean, our bodies are preparing either to run or to fight.
Or Fight Club, yeah.
And it's not healthy. I mean, we're releasing all kinds of the wrong hormones that, we need in the moment, but it's not something that we want to be exposed to.
It's not serotonin. It's not
No.
It's not like after 20 minutes in the sun or and to that end, segue so I can shamelessly plug. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Howard, who listens to the show all the time.
Yeah, Howard's great.
Howard in Winnipeg.
He's always got the
Manitoba.
most beautiful comments.
I know. He's just a sweetheart. And so I have developed something new. Don't know if I've talked about it yet, but, it's not just the comedic meditation that I got to do for Chiat Day. I'm telling you, ballers love comedic meditation. That is the biggest advertisement agency perhaps in the world. And that was super fun last week, virtually, of course. But I've come up with something called Chuckle Chants. And they are chants, CHANTS. So they're funny affirmations, but super powerful and positive because, again, you see our attitude about, we call ourselves the doucheless vegans, for God's sakes. So my thing with affirmations, because I know how powerful it is, right? It's the throat chakra, and apparently our subconscious only reacts to two things. I think one is emotion and the other is repetition. I believe that's what, from my doctor. Yes, thank you, Dr. Collins. But I'm telling you, that's what impacts it, right? It imprints it or tattoos it. So, but some affirmations, I'm just like, I just feel like ridiculous. I approve of myself. I am powerful. I just can't do them.
I just want to throw up.
Like, us, we're just like, oh, for God's sakes, stupid. So I thought if I made them funny, and again, it gets through because, again, you've got an emotion going.
Yeah,
so you're laughing
humor.
right? It's like getting your vaccination, like you're getting an injection with some laughter. And that can't hurt. So anyway, Howard's, he ordered some. So that's coming at you, Howard.
Yeah, Howard's lovely. So,
yeah, so that's a great thing to do too. And again, that's why it's so important who you're rolling with and how you talk to yourself.
It's so important.
Like, you can't beating the crap out of yourself, and you and I are always here to remind each other, does nothing.
It doesn't work. It's counterintuitive. You're not even maintaining a status quo. You're subtracting from yourself.
Exactly. It's a lesson.
It's the law of diminishing returns. You gotta, myself included. I mean, sometimes I'm human too. Sometimes I get into a self-deprecating loop in a non-comedic way. Like my sense of humor is very self-deprecating and irreverent. Like there's no idols, myself included. But sometimes though, I might be affected by something. It's fortunately, in the grand scheme of things, only a microcosm in time. But we all fall into those loops. But they are the most unhealthy thing that we can do for ourselves.
It really is. You think that we're like computers, right? We're taking it all in.
Absolutely.
And especially our self-talk, because that's on a loop, and that's your ego. Yeah. As you say, I always say your monkey brain. You want to go to a monk brain, which is, I'm always, when I'm upset, or if I have it, I joked about giving myself metaphorical tiny cuts. Like but it doesn't serve anything or anyone.
It really doesn't.
We were watching Flack. Awesome show.
Oh, I love it. I'm so disappointed
on
that
Amazon
the season's
Prime,
over.
right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And our favorite character, Eve, said, like when things go terribly wrong, you either take it out on yourself or someone else. Like there are two ways. And I was like, God, is there a third? Like, can we go get a punching bag or something? Can we get a third option? Because
why couldn't we?
You're going to either hurt yourself or somebody else. And that's shitty.
Yeah. So why couldn't we find a more positive, a productive outlet for those feelings, whether it be
scream therapy?
Sure. No, seriously.
Oh,
shout.
Dude, I used to
shout, let it all out. Thank you, Tears for Fears.
When I was upset, I would jump into my car in LA because I think I told you that if I cried or lost it, my brother's like, you're shaving 6 months off of the dogs' lives. I'm telling you, like Miles and Zero would look like they were starting to smoke.
Oh, God.
Because the animals are so sensitive.
They're so sensitive.
So it has not been unusual, not just so that I don't, really like alarm neighbors, because I don't live like where you do. You're far away from people. I have gotten in that car and screamed and turned up the volume of that radio. And you can just sure, it's very gestalt.
Let it all out.
Yell at a chair. Yell at a chair like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, do what you got to do. Throw the chair, for Christ's sake, if that's going to help you.
Wait, look at us circle jerking back to WWF. That's right. Play fight. Well, no, God. But I mean, listen, that's why women like a kickboxing class. It's awesome. Like, listen, there are times, and I've gotten back into yoga and I can't get enough of it right now. But I think that's because I'm going through a relatively calm phase for me. Because for a while I was like, nah, bitch, I can't be namasteing and getting into Warrior One. I had to be Warrior One.
For sure.
I was doing kickbox. I was doing weights, anything where you can just like,
yeah. And I think that's equally as important.
Sure.
I mean, you can't love your way out of everything. Sometimes the fastest, and as we all know, the fastest way through anything is straight through. And sometimes the tool that you need to grab out of your toolbox is rage. It's just where you direct it. You don't want to direct it at someone else. You don't want to direct it at yourself.
Well, no.
But you just, sometimes we need to just let it out into the ether, and I know for myself, I mean, I will go into, like you privately, but I will go into a total rage, and whether that be, throwing a cushion or what have you. And it's the end result is that I have now just expended all of that bad energy and to make room for something that's more productive.
Well, it's a notch above despair and non-action, right? At least. And usually too, anger's kind of funny, right? That's why it's used on a lot of sitcoms. Well, and so I'll find that when I'm like, stupid, at some point I usually break up laughing.
Yeah.
Like it will tip me into laughter way more than being in the fetal position, weeping. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're taking action. As I said, Kabbalists believe you should never be angry. You couldn't even take an acting role where there's anger involved. But
I don't know how realistic
I
that
gotta
is.
say, yeah, well, that's just it. We're feeling, and again, emotions aren't logical. Sometimes you also have a reaction. You're like, I don't know why I feel that way. Because, that we're not robots. So it's.
No, of course not.
We're
animals.
Everybody's got different triggers. And I'm like, oh. And then you get to the bottom of it sometimes.
Yeah, I think all emotions are healthy. It's where we place them, and
you can't just keep shoving them down inside. And you bury them along with bodies. That's what you're really angry.
Oh my God.
No, but I mean, that's where it will come out in your health, right?
Oh, 100%.
So emotions they're going to find a way. They're going to make their escape from Alcatraz. So
it's true.
It's probably a good idea to have somewhat of a modicum of control over it and just
for sure. But sometimes in order to find that control, we've got to unleash them, right? And just let them breathe and let them do their thing. And it's like trying to contain an explosion, right? It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
And I mean, another thing is just sometimes just such a gift to just listen to someone, right? Because especially if you got a lot of yang, the matter from Mars, when from Venus thing, you want to go right to fixing.
Yeah.
Or, and this has been on social a lot where they're like, yeah, I know one time that happened to me too. We always want to do that. Yes.
Not helpful.
Not helpful. As I said, when I went through my mom's death and people are like, last year I lost both my parents. I'm like, okay, well, it's not a Japanese game show, so we're not competing. But obviously you win. But that's just because we don't know what to do when it's awkward, right? Like when a guy cries, I'm terribly uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Here's a breast. Yes. Like,
I know, you and me both.
Puppets. So, we're all just doing our best. So the easiest, and I think the one that people value the most is just to listen.
Absolutely. Right? I don't, I would hazard a guess that most people who seek guidance aren't really looking for guidance. They're just looking for an opportunity to vocalize the thoughts in their head and to let them free into the ethos,
Exactly.
So just shut up and let people talk, right? No one's coming to you for solutions.
I know. It's hard.
I don't mean you. I mean the royal you.
Oh, no. Well, but also no, me. Sure, if you talk to my younger brother, you would hear very much that I'm like,
you give great
what
advice.
You should do.
You dispense great advice.
Well, thank you.
You do.
Like Lucy, Charlie Brown. There weren't a lot of strong female characters. So it was Lucy or Pepin and Patty.
Oh, my God.
So a lot to hold on to. So I don't know how we got into. We just. I'm not even drinking. What's going on?
Well,
we're philosophizing,
which is kind of nice. I mean, and that's one of the beautiful things about the show. And everyone who's listening or not listening can confirm or deny that. It's just we go off and on a tangent, and it's organic, and we don't really map out anything.
No, it's not very scripted, is it?
It's not at all scripted. And I think there's a beauty in that, right? It's just it's organic and it's sincere, right, and genuine.
Yeah, if nothing else. I mean, I don't know if we're your cup of tea, but we're actually tea. Spilling tea.
Exactly.
I know. We're like, it's not news anchors. I spent too many years doing that, so I don't need to.
You don't want to do that.
I don't want to be scripted. I want to say, when we come back, let's find out what Madonna's up to.
Let's not.
Let's not at all. No one's that interested. But yeah. Well, now it's very. I mean, I think that we're in a time where the audience is very sophisticated. Mm-hmm. Everybody's broadcasting, TikTok. So we're all leveling up that way, and I think people have gotten used to a little bit more of a free flowing style, right?
Yeah, no, I would concur with that. I think through the advent of technology, information is more readily available. It wasn't so long ago, even in our lifetime, where you had to access information at a library or by reading a magazine or.
Hey kids, people used to go door to door and sell encyclopedias.
They did.
First of all, imagine that. A, during a pandemic. B, how creepy. I wouldn't have to worry about Messenger. At least Messenger is out in, in the cyber world.
Yeah.
This would just be a dude
knocking on your door
in a suit trying to sell your parents encyclopedias.
Well, and you know what? We had a series of encyclopedias in my house growing up. And anytime we had to do a report or an essay or something, not
terribly always right up to date.
They weren't. But
Polio, what's this?
That's what we had to do.
Ramses the Second.
We had to seek information by flipping pages. We couldn't just. In fact, when we were kids, there was no such thing as a computer until we were in our teens.
Right. Well, I mean, I think there was, but we certainly didn't have
NASA had them,
yes,
but the average consumer certainly didn't.
Bill Gates' garage or something. Or no, it was the other guy. It's Steve Jobs. The Apple guy was in his garage. I don't know. Apparently everything happens in a garage. It's weird. Bands, technology, sales.
Oh, God.
A garage is all you need.
It is all you need.
And yours is full of pussy.
Literally.
True story. A lot of cats in his garage.
Oh, my God.
Like a lot.
Yeah. That's their shelter.
Lifetime supply of cats. Oh, and now we've got hang on.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, is Zara making an appearance? There she is.
Been on every other show I've ever done in my life. I don't know that anyone's seen Zara, the doucheless vegan.
No, so that's Dr. Zara.
It's Dr. Zara.
Look at her.
10-pound chihuahua holding my life together. She is the best.
She is. She's such a great dog.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know, and she's wearing white gloves because she's ready for anything. She's a lady.
Cocktail
like me.
party.
Cocktails.
Gardening.
I don't know where I stop and she starts. It's gotten weird, but yeah, she's terrific and she sure loves it here.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't?
So now I've seen the small, medium, and large. Well, you don't see Cadbury so much as you sometimes hear him heavy breathing.
That's true. He is a heavy breather.
He's an
particularly around. Yes, he is. Particularly around feeding time. He just gets himself so excited.
I was cooking again today. That's right, gentlemen. And the occasional lady. No.
Now you are the full package.
I really am. I've become a cook. And oh my God, Cadbury's hilarious. He's hilarious sous chef.
I'm telling you, he's a nut. He's the only
You're
dog.
not getting jalapeno, Cadbury.
Oh,
I think that would go horrible. He would love it.
He would, but it would go horribly wrong.
It would. He would chop it up. But yeah, so I finally just grabbed some celery and I would just shoot him a stalk of celery every few minutes.
He is
so I could concentrate.
The only dog I've ever known who loves salad.
He does.
He'll eat anything that's given to him.
He's like a chick on a first date. Just salad for me.
Yeah. Oh my God! In fact, he would
food-driven dog.
He 100%. He would eat everything on the table and the table.
And he knows we're talking about him.
Yes,
he's a cat man now.
He's a risen.
See him. He's sweet. Well, I think so. I think we did our.
I think we did our thing.
I mean, I don't. We can't. I don't know if we can go any deeper. Like, that's just.
Let's save some for next time.
We have to. We have other.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously, otherwise, we're like a couple of tall Yodas. Yoda, I'm a magpie. I'll take it all.
Oh my God! Yes.
Take it all. I will.
Well, thanks everyone for
Yes, thank you for listening, and please leave comments. Maybe you have a great tip on anything, whether it's spiritual, Botox in your third eye, or vegan, or just give us some feedback if you've tried any of the things that we've been talking about.
Yeah,
we would
let
love
us know
more
what
interaction.
Well, that reminds me, actually. So my school chum, Sandra Powell, was going up to...
Sandra.
Oh, God. Well, I've shown you pictures of Sandra. She's stunningly beautiful.
Insane.
Yeah, she's ridiculous.
It's kind of my new girl crush.
Oh, my God. And when I mentioned to you, she's also at the top of her... top of the game professionally as well. So...
What? Why do you think I dig her?
Sandra's got it all going on.
Yeah.
So Sandra, if you're listening, you were going to the fromagerie to pick up some cheeses. I really want to know what you thought of them.
Yeah,
Don't leave
that's
me
so
hanging.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
I'm saying, hey, girl, hey, because now it's sounding really white, and I want her to like me. I'm also the queen of trying too hard when I get excited.
Oh my God!
If you haven't noticed that, but yeah, so let us know what you thought.
Yeah, Sandra, please let us know what you thought.
Fromagerie, which was awesome, and cheers.
Yeah. So thanks again to everyone who is listening, and engaging. We're doing it all for you.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Oh my God.
Like bad. We're loving you.
All right, we're signing off. Let's go eat.
Yes, or drink.
Or both.
Mwah.
Bye, everybody.